torn civilian threads in his adult life. On Slade's left side is his lawyer. Marcus Green is wearing as usual, a $500 suit and a perpetual frown. Looking at him and Richard Slade, you'd think it was Green who had been done wrong by the state the past 27 years. Standing next to Green is the Jewish lawyer from Boston, who picked Slade out of the sizable lottery of potentially innocent prisoners and took up his cause 4 years ago. It's taken that long to get from there to here, and I wonder why Slade had to count on some skinny, myopic guy from up north who talks funny to deliver him. In addition to the family, there's us, the news media. I cringe to be a part of this club, clawing and scratching for a piece of the newly freed man. All 4 local TV stations, and a couple from Washington, have sent their hair pieces and camera goons over. Then there's our photographer, a couple of freelance reporters and one from the Post, and half a dozen guys with iPhones and other high-tech wonders. And here I stand with my notepad. I am the only person out here using a pen and paper. A couple of the young tweeters are looking at me like I'm some exhibit at the museum. Look, he's even wearing a wristwatch. A fight almost breaks out between a couple of the Slade cousins and 2 of the more obnoxious camera guys, who now look as if they'd like to be somewhere else. A deputy moves in our direction, but then Marcus Green stops at the bottom of the courthouse steps, moves in front of the Boston lawyer, and holds up his right hand. The cameramen and cousins part. "We're here to celebrate the Commonwealth's belated effort to bring justice to an innocent man," Green says, and I can see that he's getting into his preacher mode. "We all know that justice delayed is justice denied. We all know that this man, Richard Slade, has endured the unendurable, left to rot by a system that enslaved and marginalized his ancestors, that came this close." Green holds his right forefinger and thumb half an inch apart. "This close to burying him alive forever. Moses was never allowed to enter the promised land, only to glimpse it from afar. Richard Slade is able to walk, proud and free, back to the fresh air and sunshine of freedom." A "Praise Jesus" escapes from the crowd. Green stops and pauses for effect. Everything Marcus Green does in public is for effect. "And there's nothing they can do about it except stand and watch. The police can't keep him from shucking his chains. The courts can't do it. The racist system can't do it." He fails to mention that it was the system that just freed him. Green pauses and looks at me. I'm about 10 feet away, half hidden by a fat guy wielding a 50-pound camera. "Not even the news media can do it." I hear a couple of muttered amens and ahas. Green has managed to turn the crowd's attention toward me. I suppose that I'm the one person here who looks like the stereotype of the newspaper guy. That's it, Marcus, you asshole. Throw me under the bus. True, the people I work for haven't been Richard Slade's BFF. There was an editorial back in 1984 that more or less advocated bringing back public hangings. A search in more recent archives, the ones I can bring up on my computer, shows a distinct lack of sympathy for a man who, according to Mr. DNA, did not do it. Green eventually shuts up. The crowd seems not to know exactly what to do next. Then one of the cousins announces that they're all invited over to Mama Phil's, where the real celebration gonna be. He pauses and looks at all the hunter-gatherers of news and gives his best Mr. T scowl. "No damn media," he says. No one's been able to really talk with Richard Slade himself, other than to get a very small soundbite as he left the courthouse. Richard, how does it feel to be free?" some genius journalist shouted as he was being escorted toward the door. He just looked at the woman, who asked the day's dumbest question so far. "Feels good," was all he said. Now, as everyone heads toward their cars, Slade and his mother are led by Green to the lawyer's shiny black Yukon. I've known Marcus Green since the first time he had Richard Slade for a client. I know, and he knows that he owes me one after the stunt he's just pulled. Owing and paying are 2 different things, but it's worth a try. I slip past one of the cousins and fall into step beside Green.